BEBC in the house. Coach Cip's here, let's hear him out. Sippin' with Cip, yeah, we talking that game. Allen Eagles pride, you remember the name. On the court, in the gym, we keeping it lit. Pour it up, tune it in, Sippin' with Cip. From tip off to the buzzer, we bringing the heat. BEBC, riding with the team, can't be beat. Fast breaks, big plays, Eagles never slip. Pour it up, run it back, yeah, Sippin' with Cip.
We got a lot to catch up on here, Coach.
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
We golly, what episode? I don't even know what episode this is.
My mom would know. She was like, "Hey, I looked last night. I didn't see the episodes." Mom was
Yeah, sorry about that. Had a little family
I think
stuff.
everybody's preoccupied.
Yeah, this will be number 8. Okay. All right. Yeah, see, Mom's looking to. When's she coming up? Oh, he's busy.
She was supposed to come to the boy game. She
I'm
made it
glad
all the
she
way.
did.
She made it all the way and forgot something and didn't come in the game. Her health is pretty bad, so and then she says she's coming Friday, so we'll see.
Ooh, okay, cool. Well, we look forward to that. Welcome to episode number 8 of Sippin' with Cip. And Coach, it's been a couple of weeks. We had a misfire last week and had to go out of town, and so we missed a couple games. So we're going to go back almost 2 weeks now. We'll start at Plano West, which at that time that game was looking to be a really big game, and it was.
Yeah.
And a really fun game for the fans. If you didn't know, we had a really good time, and I think they did too, because it was really a pretty close game for the most part.
It was. Both times we played them, but their student section and their home crowd, it was an elite atmosphere to play a game. It felt like a playoff game.
That was exactly what I was about to say, and I think Cody and I talked about it. David was there too, and it did. It felt very much like a playoff game.
Yep.
And it was close. You know, you had a 4-point lead after one. You know, a 3-point lead at halftime, and then the third quarter came out, and you got a little separation, and ended up with an 11-point lead at that point. But just a lot of different things went on in that game. At first, had a hard time stopping their freshman.
Pretty good.
He is pretty good. What is it? John Reed Jr., is that correct? Yeah.
Well, John is the other one.
Justin Reed, yeah.
There's 2 freshmen. Yeah. John and Mason. Yeah.
Well, they hung in there for the longest time. And so what was the halftime speech, if you can remember?
It's been a minute, but I would assume along the lines of, you know, we have to keep, because they do a lot of movement and they would try to take advantage of our switching, because they don't have a whole lot of size, but they have really strong, good framed guards, and they love to try to post Neo up and some of our smaller guys. So in the first half, they did a pretty good job of getting the matchup they wanted, and we just weren't rotating correctly and helping correctly. So once we shored our rotations up and understood where they were cutting from, I thought we were there to stop them a little bit better and just make it more difficult for them to score. And once we kept the ball outside of, you know, the key in the paint area, I thought, you know, we were able to make a little bit of a separation as far as the defensive side goes. And when we're getting stops, it makes it easier to score. So
Yeah, that's a pretty good observation from a basketball coach.
simple basketball, simple, not complicated.
That's what we. It's all about football too, and we think it is, and it just seems to be more and more complicated every time we talk about it.
Yeah.
One of the things that, what was I going to say? I had a thought and it just went. Zoom.
Police sign of.
Yeah, that week was the week of all the snow and ice here in town. And so, did y'all even get to practice at all that week? Because that was a Friday night game.
We practiced Friday. We got to practice that day, and we actually planned the whole week to play Princeton, because Princeton we were supposed to play that Tuesday, and then the games got flipped because we were going to play Thursday, Friday. So once again, we're trying to prep, and we already had Plano West done as far as the team done, as far as the scouting and all of that. But for our kids, we sent them information over Princeton, and they did a really good job of. Because once again, Plano West offense is pretty complicated. They do a lot of stuff with cuts and scissor cuts and roll and replace, and they try to post different guys. So it's for them to take, a complicated scout on the day of and apply it. I was pleased with their ability to do so.
Yeah, I think it was just and the other thing I wanted to mention too, because I looked around. And Cody and David and I talked about it. That was probably outside of any playoff games. That was one of the largest Allen crowds.
It was
that I'd seen in an away game and I don't know. It may have been ever. It was huge.
It felt like East last year. I remember East. I looked over and I thought against Plano East at their place last year, I want to say we outnumbered them. There were so many fans. But we almost have more fans at away games than we've had at some home here recently.
Yeah, what's up with that?
When I tell you it's not a lack of us trying, we have invited every organization and every team or every elective to participate at our games. We're sending stuff out to student leadership, to football, to whoever, to come support. It's just one of those years that, there's a lot of things going on, and sometimes it's hard to get a crowd, but our kids deserve a good crowd. That's why we work so hard for it. And it makes a huge difference. Like Plano West, you go play there. There was 2 or 3 moments where I'm talking in a huddle to our team, and I can't hear myself talking, and they can't hear me talking. So I had to get in closer. But that's a fun environment. That those are the Duke UNC games you see on TV, and so to be able to come away with a win in an intense environment, I think that will help us down the stretch.
So it doesn't really help when you have a soccer game going on, and a baseball game going on, and a basketball game going on. Your crowds are pretty split. Yeah,
I agree.
It has been, and I will say this, and I'm not afraid to, because we call out people when the student section has been, to me, rather disappointing this year. And again, because when you got, however many kids you want to say you have, it's not been like it has been in past years. And that's a big difference maker, especially at home,
I was talking with a kid in this, and I won't throw him under the bus, but I was talking with a kid in class. He was like, you're not even any good this year.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, at the time we're in first, like we lost one district game. We're like number 6 in the state. He was like, but you're not ranked in the nation. I was like, that's such a that's such a once in a lifetime thing. Not even once in a lifetime, but that's such a rare thing. I'm like, y'all are spoiled sometimes at Allen, which is good because everybody wins and everybody's really good. So, I love being a part of that. But at times, I think our student body takes, a special team and a special group and all sports, sometimes for granted. But at the end of the day, we say it's just us anyway. And we got to still get stuff done and find ways to win. So,
yeah. Well, I just want to throw that out there because I did notice that. And I know we've all talked about it and wondering where they're at. But that was a Friday night game, and you were supposed to play Princeton on Tuesday night. Because of the weather, that game kept getting moved and moved and moved. and it ended up being played at 11, what was it, 11:30 on Saturday, 11:30.
Not ideal for the
Yeah,
Allen Eagles because they
yeah,
didn't play
they
the
had to
night.
miss
They didn't
that
play the
too.
night before,
yeah,
so they were
they did.
off. But
They were off, and it, Cody and I talked about it, I think, on the way home from Plano West, and we were like, well, either they're going to be fresh and ready to go, or they're going to be off because they haven't played in 10
right,
days.
yeah,
And the question is, how is Allen going to respond having played? And I don't know, y'all probably didn't get home till, or at least in bed, but 11 or
yeah.
sometime around there, coming from West. And this game from the get go was a struggle. That's my word for it.
Struggle. Can we put the, you know, you when you coach a long time, I feel like I've 15 years I've been doing that a little bit. Every team is so different when you coach a team, and some teams really love routines, and some teams don't have to have routines. Some teams can kind of adjust and do some things, but this team is a very routine team, and when you mess with the routine, and that's some of that immaturity and the growth and the youth that we have. But that you could tell just their ability to turn it, like it's just something you have to learn and go through a little bit. And since our routine has been off, we haven't overly played well of late, and we got to keep getting back on track and trying to do that. And we've learned some things and hopefully have grown in some things. But this was a prime example of that, and we just turned it on too late and ran out of time.
Yeah, this is a game where you were down 6 at the end of the first quarter, and then halftime you find yourself down 12, and you're like, okay, and I'm not going to say you look tired, but the shots weren't falling. And again, I know my numbers aren't official, but I kind of keep stats now. Like you shot, according to my think, 72% from in twos against Plano West, and against Princeton it was 47%.
We actually, and you'll see this in some games below too. We've been shooting the three like as elite as a high school can shoot the three ball. All the way through the season, we've been in the 40s, and that's almost unheard of, really,
Yeah.
for you to have multiple guys in the 40s and as a team. So that's kind of been something really good. But of late, we haven't necessarily shot it as well. And I told our team the cool part is we've still been really close or have had chances to win a game, because that's important. You got to find ways to win games when you don't shoot it well, especially a team that relies on shooting like we do. And we've found ways. We just haven't necessarily closed out as well as we wanted to. And hopefully, we watched a lot of film of this Princeton game and obviously of the Boyd game. And we learned a lot about ourselves and fine-tuned some stuff. And those were hopefully great opportunities to get better before, it's a win or go home. So,
Yeah. To your point, according to me, again, I'm not official, your last 4 games from 3 were 30%, 26%, 27%, and then 22%. Which, like, yeah, I'll let you say that.
Yeah, not where we want it to be, and partial to, obviously we go back in and dissect film and do some things. In the game of basketball, there's such a thing called rhythm. And when shots are coming out of the rhythm of your offense, you're going to shoot it better. When you're able to step into a shot, or it's a shot that you practice a bunch. I think of late, especially in our 2 losses, we're just kind of out of rhythm offensively, and one that's causing us to shoot uncharacteristic shots. We value our shots 3 different ways. We used to call them gold, silver, or bronze. We want to shoot as many gold shots as possible. We'll settle for some silver, but we do not want to take bronze shots. And we're finding ourselves taking more and more bronze shots because of our impatientness and just the rhythm of the game. And we have to get back to finding ways to avoid that and shoot more on the other side of the scale. So, the last couple of practices have been really elite, and our film studies have been really good, and hopefully understanding that. But we still got to take it and do it now. So that's the
Yep.
challenge.
And this game too, like I said, you were down 12 at half,
Mhm.
or yeah, you were down 11 at the end of the third, and then Neo just took over in the fourth and said, we're not going to lose this. And you got to a point where you were tied, and I don't remember the seconds left on the clock, but it was under 20. You had the ball, had an inbounds play where you had a turnover on it, which just never happens.
Yeah,
And
wrenching.
yeah, and they had a free layup at the other end, and you did manage to get a 3-pointer off at the end. It didn't fall, and you lose to Princeton 61-59. And I'm going to say right here, a lot of times we look at coaches and the stuff they tell us, and we kind of go, "Oh, that's coach speak." But I remember you saying at the beginning of the year, this district's really good.
No,
And
100%. Yeah.
Princeton, beats Allen, and then the next Tuesday night they go out and they beat Plano West.
Yeah.
And you're just like, holy cow, maybe he was onto something when he told us that. He wasn't just coach speaking us on that.
No. I'm usually pretty, I try not to coach speak as much as most people. I don't try to sandbag. If I'm really good, I'm gonna tell you we're pretty good. If we're growing, I'm gonna tell you we're growing. But just the sheer size and the athleticism. If you look at Princeton and line them up with us, just eye test wise and athleticism wise, they're a more athletic team. They're bigger. I'm not gonna say they're stronger. You don't know that, but and that's not all basketball is, but that can affect things. And you go look at Plano and you look at McKinney, and their size is a huge piece of it. And once again, you just got to find ways to win games, and we have, but at times, it's challenging. And if you don't do things right, and you can find yourself, where we fell the other night. So,
yep. So you take it on the chin at Princeton, fall to 9-2 in district, and so you follow up Tuesday night with Prosper.
mm-hmm.
And another game where this kind of reverted back to early season Allen in my book, where you have a 20-point lead at halftime. And Cody went at the game, but he texted me afterwards. And he goes, "What the heck happened in the third quarter?"
Did we go 7 minutes and then score?
Yeah, there was like Matt Welsh. Yeah, he said it was like the 7:25 mark before you finally scored in that quarter.
Yep, I didn't have enough timeouts to keep using them. And part of that was, once again, like winning on a mature team. It is hard. And one thing we took for granted that game and had to learn the hard way is we come out of halftime. Our first shot is a step back contested 2 that gets blocked. Our next shot's another pull-up contested shot. And then we have 2 straight turnovers. And I told them, once again, there's a thing called momentum in a game. And we had all the momentum in the world. But all of a sudden, when you disrespect winning or disrespect the game or the flow of our offense, all of a sudden that momentum is going to swing in a big way. And when dominoes are falling, it's hard to stop them. And, we had to learn that the hard way there. And we're fortunate enough to finally put it out and finally score and get back on track. But definitely a tough lesson for a young team to learn.
Yeah, you'd only given up 18 points at halftime, but they scored 18 in the third quarter, and it's just like, what went on back there? We always wonder, and I know, like you say, you're dealing with younger kids, but this was kind of like, we talked about this early in the season. It was kind of like you get a lead, and then okay, what happens where you can't hold it?
Yeah.
And
part of that was, and I went off on some guys, like we usually give them the first minute or 2 to sit in the locker room by themselves as we're talking as a staff. And I hear some kids say, "Oh, it's over. They're not any good." So I have to bust down the locker room door and rip them and remind them. And that was just our mindset as we went out there. Like, hey, they're just going to fold. And no, like they're really good. They've almost beat every team in our league. They've been to overtime with East. They almost should have beat McKinney. They should have beat Boyd. Like, they're a really good team. And to disrespect the game and to disrespect winning, I hate to see that because we're so against that and we're always trying to fight that. But once again, when you're a younger kid and you're trying to learn to win, sometimes you have to go through these moments to truly understand it. So hopefully that was a opportunity to learn and grow.
This is a I don't know, maybe you can answer this question, maybe you can't. Have you had to coach harder this year than you did last year, or is it just a different type of coaching?
It's not harder. Last year was hard. It didn't seem that way because of how good we were, but what could be misunderstood is to get a team to that level, like the standard you have to hold them to every day, the competitiveness, the details you have to, and the better they are, the more you can give them. And to get them to play up every night was very difficult. I don't think they ever played down to their competition once in district. There was no one that, we almost beat us when we shouldn't. Like 2 years ago, we're undefeated in district, and then we slip up and give one to Geyer at home because we just didn't play well. That was never the case with last year's team. So that was very difficult to get them motivated every single game because you're playing somebody who statistically doesn't have a shot at beating you, but how can we grow and get better? Where this team, it's more of, okay, that team kind of knew how to win because we've been through so much together. It's fostering these moments like the Prosper game and the Princeton game and teaching kids, hey, here's how you grow through this, or here's how you learn a lesson through this, and you wish you could every single year never have to go through that. Just, as you raise your own kids, you tell them life lessons, and sometimes they don't listen to you, or they got to find out the hard way. So as a team, sometimes that's the case, and it's stressful that you have to, because you try to warn them and give them all the warning signs. And so I would say it's not harder. It's equally as hard. It's a little bit more frustrating because I don't like to lose. But it's part of what you do. And but they're both hard.
Now, Coach, are there teams out there? Are there coaches out there that like to lose?
I hope not. Yeah, losing's not fun. My gosh. And I try to wear it really well. I try to be very humble and understand that. And I tell our kids this too. My big issue early in the year, we didn't do it well. And I hope now we do it better. But there's a difference between winners that lose and losers that lose. And I never want to lose like a loser. I don't want to blame somebody else or blame the officials or point fingers or act stupid. Like, it's not what we're going to do. We're going to own it. We got beat. I got beat as a coach. You got beat as a group, and we're going to grow from it. So teaching this group, like, you're still a winner at the end of the day. Like, let's do winning things. Let's have a winning mindset about us. So if we can lose in a winning way, I think you can grow and get better throughout that. So, easier said than done.
Yeah. Speaking of frustrating, we move on to Friday night game at McKinney Boyd. And I know it was frustrating to you because I'm not saying this to embarrass you, but I saw you turn around once and almost throw your water bottle. It was really close. And then I don't know who handed you the clipboard, but boy, that clipboard about went down to the ground too. And I was like,
snap that bad boy in half. I wanted to break it over my knee. My gosh.
I turned to Cody and I was like, man, I haven't seen him like that. And really, I don't know if ever. I said, this is really frustrating for him.
Yeah.
And it was a frustrating game. And I know you don't want to criticize officials, but we've talked about this before. We talked about it quite a bit up in the stands, how this has been the worst year overall, in our opinion. And I know one of the things that we continually saw, and I know you mentioned it to the officials, was the grabbing of Neo just around the waist.
Yeah.
Consistently when he was trying to make a cut off the ball. And he couldn't get to it. And you're like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, I thought they got to play a little handsy. We didn't shoot a free throw to like the fourth quarter, and they shot like almost 30. Once again, I'm not blaming that on the game. There were plenty of moments we didn't do what we needed to do to win the game, and we played about as bad offensively as you could play. And part of it, like I'll take ownership as a coach, something that we were really bad at early on was zone offense. And we really have put a lot of time in our zone offense. And over the course of time, we've been working a lot of zone because 90% of our district plays zone. And we haven't worked a lot of man lately, which I thought we were pretty good at. But to that extent, our man offense now has taken a back seat, and it was really bad after watching that game. Just the shots that were created in our offense and our movement was really bad. And we watched about 35 minutes of offense Saturday morning about how we can get better. And really, Saturday we had our best practice of the year.
Well, good.
Just as far as like mature standpoint of really getting better of, just I just love the energy we brought Saturday. It made my weekend a whole lot better instead of sitting there moping the rest of the weekend because we lost.
We should have come to your practice then, because that's all we did.
It really was. But back to how I was frustrated. It's one of those games where you don't shoot it well. You're not really getting 50-50 calls, which is okay. That's part of the game. And then you're missing a lot of easy like tip-ins around the basket layups. I want to say we missed like 6 point-blank layups, missed the dunk, and just nothing is going your way. And the weight is getting heavier and heavier. And then when you finally get a stop or you finally get the ball bounces off of us and goes back to them and they score. And it's just like, my gosh, if I could break something right now, I would. I'm not sure it would help, but it would make me feel better. And that's just kind of how the game went. And once again, found a way to take the lead and really mis-executed something late that we work on all the time. We were up 3, had 2 fouls to give, and we're yelling foul. And we fouled the first time, we're yelling foul again. We have a foul call, and they throw it in, and we do this and don't foul, and they hit a 3. So once again, learning opportunity. We got to show that, and they got to really understand why we foul in that instance, and but doesn't make us feel better about it. So
no, it doesn't, and that you got to give them credit. That kid hit that 3 from the corner, with 8 seconds left, and kudos to him for doing that. Their big guy had quite a night.
That's good. Yeah,
he is good, and I think he ended up with 31 that night.
Second best player in our league.
Yep. Okay. Well, we know who number 1 is. Speaking of number 1, you get the ball with 8 seconds left, and something you never see as Neo's dribbling up the court. It just, I don't know whether he lost control of it or it bounced off his knee or what, but it went out of bounds, and you didn't even get a chance to take that last second shot.
Yeah.
To avoid overtime. Yeah.
And once again, I draw it up 5,000 more times to Neo right there, and I give him the ball. So, he took it really hard. And, when we lose, he's so used to winning, and he does such winning things. When he loses, it crushes his soul. And you can't help just to feel sorry for him. And once again, it didn't come down to that play. There's a million things we could have done. And he's been Superman for us all year, and, along with some other guys. So, that's part of it. Luckily, once again, this is, I think I believe this in life. You got to go through stuff to prepare you for your future. And maybe we learn something in this game that will help us, down the road and down the stretch. And, hopefully so.
Well, speaking of the future, tomorrow night at home, a huge game.
Huge game.
Yeah, Plano East comes to town with a 1-game lead in district. As I'll put up the district standings here. Oops, these are not updated, so ignore those. Forgot to do that. Yeah. They are actually, y'all are 10-3. I think they're 11-2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just ignore that. Sorry, folks. I forgot to do that slide. In fact, I'll just get rid of it. Maybe
1 game that separates us, and if we beat them, we'll hold the tie. So
exactly. So
that's what we got to do.
Huge game. Had a good game with those guys over at their place earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
they've got a big guy that can score too.
Yep. Mustafa.
Yep.
Number 10. It's pretty good.
Ended up with a 12-point win earlier in the year, but it was one of those where you had a 20-5 lead after the first quarter, which those are always good to get in your back pocket if you can do it. So what's the game plan for tomorrow night?
Pretty much the same thing. Just, one, you really have to guard them, keep them out of the paint. Their guards are really quick. We did a really good job the first time of keeping them out of the paint as a group. They run a lot of cuts, a lot of motion. So you have to be able to see the whole time. You have to have gap integrity. They're not an elite shooting team, and I might say that, and they might come out and hit some, tomorrow, but hopefully not. So our main goal is to keep them out of the paint. I thought the first time we played them, we made a lot of winning plays. There was a lot of 50-50 rebounds, and, that ball is just bouncing in between you and another guy. And we came up with it a lot the first time. And obviously Neo had a tremendous game against them the first time. They couldn't guard them, couldn't stay in front. So we're going to look to, pick on some of that, but also be ready for if they're face guarding Neo or they run to it Neo. And we've been building a contingency plan for that as well. So hopefully we'll just continually make good reads. We'll get back to taking really good shots, just making them guard us, ball movement, player movement, those things will help. And just on the defensive side, just be tough to score on. We're doing those things. We're pretty good. And but if we're not doing those things, we can get beat. So just getting back to those little winning habits that we've shown at times, and just trying to do those things more consistently.
Yeah, I don't personally, and y'all, the rest of you guys jump in here. Is defense, really hadn't been the problem at all this year with you guys. It's sometimes it's the offense gets a little stagnant.
Yeah,
and it makes it, like you say, you lose. Princeton scores 61 and beats you, and
yeah.
That's not a number that you really get offended by. You're like, well, we can score more than 61. And, now we went to overtime with Boyd the other night, which bumped their number up, but it was 56 at the end of the fourth quarter. Yeah. So you can live with a 56-point night if your offense is doing what it typically does.
Yeah.
I think, and I've seen the stat somewhere, they're only giving up 49 points a game or 50 points a game, something like that.
They're really good defensively. That's kind of their best. I think we're better, but if you look on paper, they lead in a lot of defensive stats in our district. And they're well coached. They move on a string. They help each other. And we were able to pick on some things the first time we played, and I'm sure they're going to work on those things. So hopefully we'll have a counter move to their counter tomorrow night, and just try to put them in as many advantages as we can. And but you got to make shots, you got to hit open shots, you got to cut, you got to finish at the rim. So if we could do that, I think it'll be a good night.
Yep, I think so too. I think you're going to have a good crowd tomorrow night. I think everybody understands the importance of this.
I hope so.
It's funny. Nolan and I were talking before you got on. Nolan's missed a couple games, and we seem to be losing when Nolan's not there. So you feel free to.
Are you there tomorrow, Nolan?
Okay. You're on mute, Nolan.
Shot faking me, pump fake.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
I gotta tell Coach McCullough don't come, because he's come to 2 games and we've lost both. So Coach McCullough's staying at home.
He is a loser.
He says he intimidates me.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what he said.
Well, you're the only one he has ever intimidated.
He's my boss, so I'll let him believe it. So
yeah. And we're going to keep all equipment antennas away from you this night too. So.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Dude, that was funny. You're just kind of playing with it, and all of a sudden it just goes, boom. I'm like,
oh my.
I mean,
that's unfortunate.
Guys our age see that all the time. Come on.
I couldn't help but tweet that out because it was just like that was so funny.
Yeah.
It was good. Well, you have East on Tuesday. Friday, Rock Hill comes. I guess that's senior night.
Senior night. Yep.
Okay.
Some special kids.
Yep, that'll be cool. And then you end the regular season next Tuesday at Plano.
Correct.
And we're putting a lot of emphasis on tomorrow night's game, but actually all three are very important.
Yeah, you got to win all three for sure.
Yeah. Yep. To get where you want to be in winning this district, you certainly have to. You can't let up. I think we've learned that as fans this year. You should win, but it's a lot tougher than it has been in prior years. So it's fun to see, but it's just like you, it's stressful.
It is. Should isn't a good word. You got to go do it in, basketball, and it's one of those sports that sometimes the ball doesn't bounce in, and you got to find ways to overcome that. And
Yep.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your time tonight, catching
absolutely.
up on the past couple of weeks, and your insights on what's
Yeah.
going to happen tomorrow night. And we look
We
forward
need it.
to
Right.
another great showing. David almost showed us his butt there. That was nice. Oh, what he was
Nice
doing.
job there, David.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. But yeah, we look forward. We'll see you tomorrow night, and
Thank you
look
guys so
forward to
much.
a great game by the Eagles, and we'll talk in a week.
Yeah, y'all be good. See y'all tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Coach.
Good night. See y'all.
Night. Bye.